What are the advantages of using a bait finesse system reel versus a spinning reel? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's poppin'? Here we are in Mule HQ, and today I am rambling about BFS.
There he is.
By now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know what BFS is. It's bait finesse system. It's essentially a finesse bait caster. So a BFS reel looks pretty much identical to a typical casting reel. The difference is that you usually have a shallower spool and lighter components, which allows you to cast lighter line and lighter lures. Now, when I've made BFS fishing videos in the past, I get a lot of comments from people saying, why not just use a spinning reel? And quite honestly, that's a great question. In a lot of situations, a BFS reel doesn't really have a major advantage over a spinning reel, but there are some situations where it does, and I wanted to talk about those today. Now, before I get into all that stuff, there's a couple orders of business. Number one, I'm gonna put this beer in this mule fishing koozie, and I am gonna swig on it throughout the rest of this video because it's a Friday evening, to tell you the truth, while I'm filming this, and I feel like, you know, why not cheers? Cheers, guys. Delicious, delicious. The second order of business, on a more serious note, I am not a BFS expert. I'm still what I would consider an amateur BFS angler. There are some people on social media that are like crazy into BFS. That's all they fish. They have like $500 reels. It's ridiculous. And I'm not gonna claim to be an angler like that. I've only been fishing BFS for about a year now, so it's still pretty new to me, but I think that's why it's important to document my perspective. Who knows? My perspective might be completely different 2 years from now, or even 3 months from now. So today, this is a 1-year BFS angler's opinion on BFS versus spinning reels. Now that I got all of that explanation out of the way, let's talk about why you should choose a BFS reel over a spinning reel. There's probably a lot more reasons than I'm gonna document today, but today I'm just gonna go with 3 key reasons why a BFS reel might be better for you than a spinning reel. Delicious. Also, huge shout out to my buddy Nick, who just sent me this Cast King Zephyr. I've never actually used it. I just got it in the mail and I'm super stoked, so shout out Nick. I need to take a little bit of line off of here, but all in all, this thing's gonna be dynamite. The first reason why I think a BFS reel can be good for you is super simple. It's fun. You know, probably 70% of the time when I'm using my BFS equipment, I'm using it just because I enjoy using it. It's not necessarily serving me a specific purpose. It's just because it's fun to catch fish on. And although that might not be as much of a business case to buy a BFS reel, it's certainly something to remember. I think at the end of the day, as anglers, our main objective with the sport of fishing is to have some fun. And so for me, it's like BFS is just a fun way to catch fish. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about along the lines of having fun with these is the fact that you might just genuinely prefer to use casting reels over spinning reels. And that is a totally valid reason to pick up BFS reels. That's definitely the case for my friend Gary. Gary is an avid Ned rig angler just like myself. For the last couple years, he's pretty much been forced to use spinning reels because that's what allowed him to fish Ned rigs effectively. Well, this year he actually decided to sell all of his spinning equipment and switch solely to BFS. Is it gonna make him catch a bunch more fish? Probably not, but it is going to allow him to fish with a reel that he prefers. In years past, he wouldn't have been able to cast a Ned rig on a casting reel, but now that he has discovered BFS, he can, and he's excited. Shout out, Gary. Shout out. Okay, to wrap it up, the first reason was really it's fun, or you might just prefer casting reels. The next reason that I wanted to talk about as far as why you might want a BFS reel is actually something that my friend Jimmy brought up to me. Jimmy actually also has a YouTube channel. You can check him out. It's Raw Fishing. I believe he commented on a video of mine and he kind of opened my eyes to something that I didn't really think about a lot until he mentioned it, and that is efficiency. Never really would have thought about efficiency as far as equipment goes, but the reality is, what is our most valuable resource? In my opinion, it's time. You know, I keep pretty darn busy, and the time that I have to fish is very sacred to me. I'm sure that's the same for you. So the reality is, if I've got an hour to fish, if I can maximize my time and be as efficient as possible, that allows me more opportunities to catch fish. And so it was pretty interesting when he brought this up to me. Okay, so when we're talking efficiency, we gotta look at a spinning reel and a casting reel to better understand this concept. When you go to cast a spinning reel, you have to put your finger on the line, open the bail, cast, close the bail. If you want to avoid line twists, sometimes you actually even pull a little bit of line out of the reel, and then you can proceed to fish. But with the BFS reel, the thing about it is it sits in your palm the whole time. You've already got a grip on it. You click the button, you cast, you reel to engage the reel, and you're starting your retrieve. So the reality is, it's not gonna save you a ton of time as an angler, but if you're only out there for an hour and you get 10 more casts, that might mean one more fish. That might mean your biggest fish ever. So technically speaking, when I think about Jimmy's response about the fact that efficiency is a big advantage of BFS, I totally see where he's coming from, and I definitely think that it's worth noting. Okay, so the first two reasons that I shared are obviously not big game changers by any means, but before I get to my third reason, which really is a game changer in my eyes, I did want to share the fact that I don't think that BFS is for everyone. It really is a specialty fishing technique, and there's probably only a small percentage of the anglers that will ever actually benefit from it in the grand scheme of things. I know there's going to be some people that really like BFS fishing that are not going to like me saying that, but the reality is this isn't for everyone. It really is not. So just remember the fact that my goal in this video is not to make you go out and buy a BFS reel. My goal is for you to buy it if it's right for you. If it's not right for you, keep using your spinning reel. There's nothing wrong with spinning reels. I still actually like spinning reels more than BFS because they are more versatile and they definitely are more valuable to me as an angler. Okay, I got that disclosure out of the way. Now let's move on to the number 3 reason why a BFS reel might be good for you. You know, this one is really what I think is the top advantage of BFS. And it's honestly super simple. I'm gonna paint the picture by just talking through an example and then I'll explain further. For this example, do me a favor, close your eyes and picture this. You just pulled up to a new shallow stream. You're super excited because you hear that there's some good trout fishing there. You look around and you quickly realize that this stream has a ton of wood and brush and overhanging trees and gunk everywhere. As you start to fish with your little 1/8 ounce spinner, you quickly realize that that spinning rod is not doing the job that you want it to do. Every time you try to make an accurate cast, you overcast your spot a little bit and you get hung up. You've lost 12 spinners already. Okay, you can open your eyes. So at the end of the day, I feel like a BFS reel really adds the most value to people that need to fish tight quarters with light lures and light line, and they need to make pinpoint accurate casts. If that fits your style as an angler, you might consider BFS fishing. Honestly, the reason that I ever even bought a BFS reel in the first place is because of the trout stream that I fish a lot. It's got wood and brush everywhere, and I found with my spinning reel that I would overshoot my spot a lot and snag up. With a casting reel, you can obviously slow your spool down, which is a huge advantage, so that way you can place things softly in the water and accurately. And even though I'm definitely not a pro with BFS yet, I've already realized that it's gonna add a lot of value long-term to me as an angler. Okay, so those are the 3 key advantages of BFS that I wanted to share with you today. If you're watching this and you're a serious BFS angler and you feel like I missed something, make sure to drop those in the comments below because I want to know, and I'm sure there's other people watching this video that will also want to know. I probably don't need to ramble about this subject any further, and quite honestly, I want to go eat dinner. That being said, I hope today's video helps you better understand the role that BFS plays for a lot of anglers. Like I mentioned earlier, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a spinning reel, and quite honestly, it is still more versatile than a BFS reel, but there's obviously some places where this does make sense. Anyways, if you have any further questions, or if you have suggestions for future videos, make sure to drop those in the comments below. I will happily help as best I can. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.